Futility by Werewolves, read by Deathlight, Chapter 2, Traveling. Twilight Log 50, Day 6 since last Oasis. I remember a time when I wasn't thirsty. I was very young back then. My mother carried most of the items. And when she perished, I could carry so little of what she could. Today I can carry more, but back then I had to leave so much behind. Even if I wanted, I couldn't take retracing my footsteps back. Truthfully, I could, but going back does not lead me anywhere but to deserts. At the very least, by going forward, I know I'm going somewhere new. I finished the last of my water, and I have yet to see an oasis. If I do not find one tomorrow, I will have to resort to my last tactic. I'm down to 3 cans of nutrients. If I do not find an oasis, I will have to cast the second spell, one I thought I'd never have to use. I wish I could explain how they work in this log, but my mother made me swear never to write them down. I do not know why, but I trust her. I read some of the journal I found yesterday. Most of the early chapters are similar to my own. A log of what has been and what has happened that day. Halfway through, however, it began to change tone. Apparently he found a journal, like I did, and inside it detailed directions to this destination. It spoke of how this was the last hope this world had. He mocked this, and I would have to agree. He mocked how it spoke, how this information would eventually reach those who were predestined for it. He speaks of how funny it is, funny to believe such hopes. The book offered to provide its words, so he followed it, and found that medallion. He didn't believe it was true, right up to the moment he got crushed. However, his last entry talks about how even if this hope is futile, it's better to follow the hope instead of just giving up completely. To live how he had been, waiting for death. I will continue following the path his journal suggests to follow. I can't help but feel this dead pony was like me, because all of his words almost sound like my own. I will continue further tomorrow. For now, I will rest. Twilight Log 50, Day 0 since last Oasis. I found an oasis, however, it's been long since drained of life. Everything is dead, but there's still tiny bits of life around this place. I managed to drain enough life to conjure enough water for one more day. I'm so thirsty, but I must go on. There are no more spikes around here that will give me what I need to continue. I can only hope to find one tomorrow, because if I don't, then I'm better off dead. I'm writing this before I head out for today, to mix things up I guess. I don't remember much of the dream, other than the feeling of running out of time. It's strange, our time is already up, so why do I feel pressured like so? It doesn't matter in the end, but it did remind me of what I read in the journal. Apparently, he was an earth pony, which meant he didn't have a horn like I do. He also spoke of his mother being a Pegasus. That means they had wings instead of a horn. That confirms my theory, and I'm glad. It's hard to make a dream with only half-known facts. I just realized I have yet to make a new fantasy as of yet. My thoughts being consumed by reading this dead pony's diary. I guess having something tangible to hold on to is better than a fantasy. It's a pity it's so rare. There's something far off in the distance. Too far off to see unless you're using a zooming spell or binoculars. I'm not sure if a zooming spell exists, but I'm sure it does, and I wish I knew it. Either way, it's still a day's march away, but I should reach it before I camp for the day. It has the perfect spike right next to it for me to use. The sun was unrelenting on the figure walking over the land. Her breath came out in a methodical and calm rhythm. Her feet took everything one step at a time. She didn't even notice she had arrived until the spike blocked out the sun for a single moment. Gazing up at it, she quickly took in the amount of damage and decay, and was happy to see it in near perfect condition, jutting out at a slight angle. Turning to face it, her horn sparked with magic, and she closed her eyes and focused on her own magical flow. Walking towards it, her horn touched it gently, and then spread along the surface, enveloping it in her purple hue. pulling her bottles out with levitation. She uncapped them and held them still as the spire began to crumble, eroding before her very eyes as she opened them. Her magic compressed the spike and then transformed it back into a pure substance before turning it into water. It was a large bubble of brown water. She separated out the dirt and gunk using a distilling spell, it falling into the sand and fading. What she was left with was pure water, which she filled her bottles with. Putting the bottles away, she carried the little bit still left her magic over to her mouth and she drank eagerly. It soon vanishing and she let her magic fade. With thirst taken care of, she turned her attention to the object nearby. So, this is it then. The object the pony spent half his life searching for? Honestly, she didn't know why he had put all of his hopes into it. It wasn't anything special.